Hello students, in previous video we have completed theorems on Cauchy criteria uniform conversions and also have seen one example based on it. In this video we will continue with the same. So second example based on uniform conversions is here. So in this example we have to show that the sequence fn where fn is equals to x to the power n is uniformly convergent on closed interval 0k. Note here that k is strictly less than 1 and also we have to show that this sequence fn of x is pointwise convergent on the closed interval 0, 1. So let's start with the solution. So now first we will find the pointwise limit of this sequence, and by definition we know that pointwise limit is denoted and defined as f of x and is defined as limit n tends to infinity fn of x. So here limit n tends to infinity x to the power n will be equals to 0 when x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than strictly less than 1, and 1 if x is equal to 1. So with this we can conclude that this sequence converges pointwise to the discontinuous function on this interval 0, 1. So the sequence converges pointwise to a discontinuous function on the closed interval 0, 1. Now we will take epsilon, let epsilon be greater than 0 and be given. So then for 0 less than x less than or equals to k, which is strictly less than 1, we have fn of x mod of fn of x minus f of x to be equal to, here fn of x is equals to x to the power n, and f of x for x less than strictly less than 1 and greater than 0, it is 0. So fx is equals to 0, which is less than epsilon. So this implies that mod x to the power n is less than epsilon, which is equal to x to the power n less than epsilon. So taking reciprocal on both sides, we have 1 upon x to the power n greater than 1 upon epsilon. So taking log on both sides implies that by law of logarithm this power n will come to the front. So n log of 1 by x will be greater than log of 1 upon epsilon. So now we have n log of 1 by x is greater than log of 1 by epsilon. Since here log of 1 by x is not equals to 0, this implies that we can divide both sides by log of 1 by x. So we get n greater than log of 1 by epsilon upon log of 1 by x. And this number log of 1 by epsilon upon log of 1 by x increases with x. So its maximum value will be at k, that is when x will be equal to k, this whole term will be maximum. So this number log of 1 upon epsilon upon log of 1 by x increases with x. And its maximum value will be at x equals to k. And its maximum value being log of 1 upon epsilon upon log of 1 upon k in the closed interval 0k, where k is strictly less than 1. So now here will exist an integer n which will be greater than log of 1 by epsilon upon log of 1 by x. So for this n we will have mod of fn of x minus f of x less than epsilon for n greater than capital N and for 0 less than x less than 1. So we have proved this for x which is strictly less than 1 and greater than 0. Now for x equals to 0, we will have mod of fn of x minus f of x equals to 0. Since fn of x equals to x to the power n and at x equals to 0, fn of x will be 0 and hence f of x will also be 0. So mod of fn of x minus f of x will be equal to 0, which is less than epsilon for n greater than or equal to 1. So thus for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a capital N such that for all x belongs to the closed interval 0 k less than 1, strictly less than 1, mod of fn of x minus f of x will be less than epsilon for all n greater than or equals to capital N. Therefore, the sequence fn of x equals to x to the power n is uniformly convergent in the interval 0 k. So, therefore, fn of x will converge to f uniformly in closed interval 0 k, where k is strictly less than 1. The next example is here S of mn is equal to m upon m plus n, and we have to show that whether limit m tends to infinity or limit n tends to infinity smn is equal to limit n tends to infinity limit m tends to infinity smn or not. We have to show that whether these are equal or not. So first given is Smn is equals to m upon m plus n. So first we will find the value of this. So limit m tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity, Smn will be equal to limit m tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity, m upon m plus n. So we will take n common from the denominator. So limit m tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity, m upon taking n common, here m upon n plus 1. So taking limit n tends to infinity, here we will get limit m tends to infinity, m upon infinity plus 1. Here the limit of n tends to infinity, not equal to infinity. So here we will get limit m tends to infinity 0. So the value of this will be 0. Now we will find value of this term. So limit n tends to infinity, limit m tends to infinity, Smn will be equal to limit n tends to infinity, limit m tends to infinity, m upon m plus n. So here we will take m common from the denominator. So we get limit n tends to infinity, limit m tends to infinity, m upon taking n common, so 1 plus n upon m. So here these get cancelled and we get limit n tends to infinity, taking m tends to infinity here will get equals to 1 and limit n tends to infinity 1 will be equal to 1. So value of this term is 0 and value of this term is 1. So both these terms are not equal. So therefore limit m tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity, Smn will not be equals to limit n tends to infinity, limit m tends to infinity, Smn. So the next example is here fn of x is equals to n square x in bracket 1 minus x square to the power n, where x is greater than 0 and less than or equals to 1, and n is from the set of natural numbers. Then we have to show that if these two terms are equal or not. That is, here it is asked that is limit n tends to infinity integral 0 to 1 fn of x dx is equals to integral 0 to 1 limit n tends to infinity fn of x dx. So firstly, solution: fn of x is equals to n square x 1 minus x square to the power n, where 0 is less than x or less than equals to 1 and n is from set of natural, that is from 1 to onwards. So here we can write it as n square x upon 1 minus x square to the power minus n. So first let limit n tends to infinity fn of x is equals to limit n tends to infinity n square x upon 1 minus x square to the power minus n. So by L'Hospital rule, taking derivatives of the term of numerator and denominator. So limit n tends to infinity. Here the derivative of this term will be twice n x upon, here the derivative will be 1 minus x square to the power minus n log of 1 minus x square. So which is equals to limit n tends to infinity. So again by applying L'Hospital rule, the derivative of this term will be twice x upon, here log of 1 minus x square will be constant and derivative of 1 minus x square to the power minus n will again be 1 minus x square to the power minus n log of 1 minus x square. So log of 1 minus x square, log of 1 minus x square will be square of this term. So limit n tends to infinity twice x upon 1 minus x square to the power minus n log of 1 minus x square whole square. So which will be equals to limit. So the taking limit of n tends to infinity, we will have a value of this equals to 0, and which will be equals to f of x, that is pointwise limit for all x. And so integral 0 to 1 limit n tends to infinity fn of x dx will be equals to integral 0 to 1, the value of limit n tends to infinity fn of x is 0 dx, which will be equals to 0. So let's give it first. So next, now we'll find integral 0 to 1 fn of x dx. So which will be equals to integral 0 to 1 fn of x is n square upon x 1 minus x square to the power minus n dx. So here integral 0 to 1, we will move this term of denominator to numerator. So we have n square x 1 minus x square to the power n dx. Taking n square common, integral 0 to 1 x 1 minus x square to the power n dx. So with the adjustment as minus of n square upon 2, integral 0 to 1 minus 2x 1 minus x square to the power n dx. We can see that minus 2x is the derivative of 1 minus x square. So by using formula integral fn of x f dash of x dx, which is equals to f n plus 1 of x upon n plus 1. So using this, we will have minus n square upon 2 1 minus x square n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So with limit 0 1. So therefore finally we will get minus n square upon 2, 0 minus 1 n plus 1. So finally n square upon 2 n plus 1. Now limit n tends to infinity, integral 0 to 1 fn of x dx will be equals to limit n tends to infinity n square upon 2 n plus 1. So taking n square common from the denominator, we will have limit n tends to infinity n square upon twice n square in bracket 1 by n plus 1 by n square. So here taking limit n tends to infinity, finally we will get this equals to infinity and let it be second. So therefore we can say that limit n tends to infinity, integral 0 to 1 fn of x dx is not equals to integral 0 to 1 limit n tends to infinity fn of x by 1 and 2. So the next example is, here fn of x is given equals to x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n for x belongs to R, and n is from the set of natural numbers. Then we have to prove that this sequence fn of x is continuous at x equals to 0, but the function f, which is sum of the series summation fn, is not continuous at x equals to 0. So let's start. Here fn of x is equals to x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n for x belongs to R, and here n is from the set of natural numbers. So now we know that the sum of series f of x is equals to summation fn of x, and here summation fn of x is x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n. So let it be number 1. Now for x equals to 0, f of 0 will be equals to 0, but for x not equals to 0, f of x will be summation n from 0 to infinity x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n. So x square summation n from 0 to infinity 1 upon 1 plus x square to the power n, which is equals to x square 1 upon 1 plus x square to the power 0 plus 1 upon 1 plus x square to the power 1 plus so on plus. So x square upon 1 plus 1 upon x square plus up to so on. So by geometric series with common ratio 1 upon 1 plus x square, here x square in bracket 1 upon 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus x square. So from this we will have x square in bracket 1 plus x square upon 1 plus x square minus 1. So x square in bracket 1 plus x square upon x square. Since plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled, so x square will also get cancelled, and the value of f of x when x not equals to 0, we get 1 plus x square. So therefore we can write f of x as 1 plus x square when x not equals to 0 and 0 when x equals to 0. Let it be 2. Now since fn of x is equals to x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n, implies that fn of 0 is equals to 0. We give it number 3, and the pointwise limit limit n tends to infinity, fn of x will be equals to limit n tends to infinity x square upon 1 plus x square to the power n will be equals to 0. So as fn of 0 is equals to 0 and limit n tends to infinity fn of x is also equals to 0. So therefore from 3 and 4 here we have limit n tends to infinity fn of x is equals to fn of 0. So therefore also by the definition of continuity, this sequence is continuous. Therefore implies the sequence fn of x is continuous at x equals to 0. But as we have seen that for x equals to 0, f of x is 0, but limit of x tends to 0, f of x will be limit x tends to 0. That is for x not equals to 0, f of x is 1 plus x square. So here 1 plus x square, and since x tends to 0, it will be equals to 1, which is not equals to f of 0, which is 0. So therefore the sum of the series f is not continuous at x equals to 0. Which is not equals to f of 0. So hence we have proved. So the next example is here fn of x is sin nx upon root n for x belongs to r and n equals to 1 to up to infinity, and if the sequence of function fn converges to f of x, that is it is given that this function converges to f of x, which will be its pointwise limit, and then we have to show that we have to show or prove that if the derivative of this function converges to the derivative of this function f of x. So let's start with given solution. Here fn of x is equals to sin nx upon under root n as x belongs to r, and here the sequence, it is given that this sequence converges to f of x, that is its limit. This sequence converges to f of x, and to prove that fn dash converges to f. So f of x, we know that f of x is equals to limit n tends to infinity fn of x. So therefore f of x will be equals to limit n tends to infinity sin nx under root upon under root n. So let it be number 1. Also we know that minus 1 is less than sin nx, which is less than 1 for x belongs to r. Since mod of sin x is less than 1, we can write it from that. So dividing by root n, 1 upon root n, which is less than sin nx upon root n, which is less than 1 upon root n. Taking limit n tends to infinity, limit n tends to infinity minus 1 upon root n, which is less than limit n tends to infinity sin nx upon root n, which is less than limit n tends to infinity 1 upon under root n. So this will be 0, which is less than limit n tends to infinity sin nx upon under root n, which is less than 0. So therefore limit n tends to infinity sin nx under root n will be equals to 0. So this implies that the value of f of x will be equals to 0. Therefore this sequence sin nx upon under root n converges to f of x, which is equals to 0, x belongs to r. and the derivative of this function, that is f dash of x, will be 0 where x belongs to R. So now the derivative of fn dash is equals to n cos nx upon under root n, which will be equals to under root n cos nx. So therefore limit n tends to infinity, fn dash of x equals to limit n tends to infinity under root n cos of nx, so which will be equals to infinity. So let it be number 3. And since f dash of x is equals to 0 and number 4, so from 3 and 4 can see that limit n tends to infinity, fn dash of x is not equals to limit n tends to infinity f dash of x. So therefore fn dash of x does not converge to f of x, and therefore sequence fn dash of x does not converge to f dash of x, and hence now in next video we will we will see some examples based on theorems, and we will move on to the next article, which is Weierstrass M test theorem. Thank you.